Hey guys, and welcome back to another Sims 4 video. First of all, I wanted to apologize for it being so long since my last video. If you've been following me on Instagram, you would have seen what was happening. Basically, I was just really busy and I couldn't find time to upload. But I'm back. This is going to be a slightly different video today, and my usual builds will return next week if you are interested in them. So today I was going to do a video just showing you guys my current save game. It was something that quite a few people on my Instagram said they wanted to see. So if you don't follow my Instagram, go follow that, and then you can message me and let me know what you want to see on my channel. But today we're doing my current save. Oh, and we're starting here where the weather is very appropriate, because my save started with a family I made a few years ago at Christmas. I think it was 2017, and basically I had just got a few packs for Christmas and I wanted to play with them and just try out the new features. So I made this family with Darren Humphreys and his wife Myla, who are now both unfortunately have passed away. And they had 3 children. They had Carly, who was the oldest daughter, Cassandra, who was the middle child, and Joseph, the youngest child. And so I'm going to take you around all of their households and their families now, and just tell you a little bit about how I play my game. I do a lot of storytelling in my games. I like to make things a little bit dramatic. So yeah, so first of all, Myla was a doctor. She was working in the medical career. I had just got get to work as one of the packs, and so that's what I was doing with her. And her husband Darren was a police officer. And then they had their oldest daughter, Carly, who is at work at the moment. That's convenient. Basically, Carly was in the business career. She was a young adult, and she was very good at her job. She was extremely good at her job, but it's not really what she wanted to be doing. She felt like she had to do something businessy, had to do something that would make her parents proud of her. But really what she wanted to do was to be a baker. She really enjoyed cooking and baking, and she wanted to own her own little bakery, and that was her dream job. Again, sort of sticking with the get to work pack there. So this is Carly now. If we go into her, you can see she's creative, she's ambitious, and she's a foodie. She's also got these other traits that she's collected. Is that the right word? I don't know. But that's sort of what she started out with, and she just wanted to own her own bakery, and maybe a restaurant, and go down that sort of route with her life. This is so confusing. I'm confusing myself so much. She was in the business career, and she was in a little group of friends that she had. I don't think they're a group anymore, no. And one of those friends was Sebastian. So this is Sebastian Trotter. And he was friends with Carly. They went to school together. They've always had the same friendship group and everything. And he was also in the business career. and he got into it quite young through his parents, and he was the opposite of Carly. He absolutely loved being in the business career and was thriving, and they ended up dating because they were both doing so well. They got on so well together. They ended up dating and even getting engaged and even getting to the wedding. But as you can see, they're not together now, because on the wedding day, Carly basically just decided that, this is a great guy, she's got a great life, but it's not the life that she wants. It's not the one that she wants to live, even though it's one that so many people would be so jealous of. So she left him at the altar and moved out of their penthouse and found a little hut that another one of her friends, Akira, found for her through a mutual friend. And Sebastian ended up finding someone else who he ended up marrying. This is Alexandra, and she's a lot more like Sebastian than Carly was. And so they're happy, they're married, they live in this beautiful penthouse together. I didn't build this one, this is just off the gallery. And yeah, I haven't really played with Sebastian since then. So Carly moved into this lot, which at the time was just a little hut, with the help of her friend, who was also in their friendship group, Akira, who you'll know is a sim from the City Living pack. He was a little bit older than her, but they got on well, and eventually they ended up dating. And I say eventually because it definitely was eventually. It was not an immediate thing. They were a bit hesitant to do it and ruin the friendship, but they did. And Akira, who was a musician at the time, sort of took a page out of Carly's book, who had started her own bakery, and he started up a vet clinic, and they lived in this little hut and eventually built it up to be this beautiful house here. Again, this is off the gallery, I didn't build this one. And they got married and had 2 kids and 3 pets, and they're doing really well and they're very happy, and they still have the bakery, they still have the vet clinic. Akira still does his music, he doesn't do it as a job anymore, but he still writes songs. And Carly is now a food critic, and she also owns her own restaurant as well. So yeah, that's where they are, and I will show you their children a little bit later. And then there was the second daughter of Mila and Darren, Cassandra Humphreys. She was a teen when I started playing, and she was really into her music. She wanted to be a DJ, she wanted to dance. She joined the club that comes with Get Together. I can't remember what it was called now, but the one that's all about DJ and dance. And she was really good at it. She was so good, she ended up getting signed very young. She left school early to pursue her career in music, and she got really famous from it. And she was living the dream life. She lived in this beautiful mansion, which has seasonal decorations up now, but she lived here, and she lived here with David, who was someone she went to school with, and he was always the cool kid. Everyone wanted to be with him and whatever, and he ended up dating Cassandra, and so obviously she loved that. She was super into him. and they lived here together. And when they moved into this mansion, obviously it's a big mansion, David convinced Cassandra to get a maid. And little did Cassandra know that this maid was Tony. I think it's pronounced Tony. This is one off the gallery. And Tony was actually David's girlfriend, and had been David's girlfriend for many years before he even met Cassandra. And the only reason David was dating Cassandra was for her fame. Basically, he just wanted her fame. He wanted to use her so that he could build up his career, build up his fame and recognition for him and Tony. And so that's what he done. He used Cassandra to get famous. He built up all his fame levels. And then one night, Cassandra caught them together. And she obviously left, not before burning the house down a little bit. I think it's actually still a little bit singed over here. And burning down his studio, which he used to record his videos, which is where he got his fame from, other than Cassandra. So she burnt down the mansion and she left. And then not long later, Tony gave birth to 2 twins, Josephine and Kira. So Cassandra ended up having a bit of a meltdown. She turned into a bit of an alcoholic. Like I said, she burnt the mansion down, and she lost her reputation and got a very negative reputation, which she's fixed now, but she did have a very negative reputation, and she lost all her fame, and no one likes her. So she moved to Salami, and she brought what was just sort of an old little villa. Not this one, she did live somewhere else, but an old little villa that she done up, lived there for a little while, and she ended up meeting Keon. Again, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, I'm sorry if I'm not, but Keon Akana, who has just jumped into the pool, and he lived on the island, and he's a conservationist, and he's really into all the island culture and everything. And so when he met Cassandra, they were both complete opposites. He was all about nature, and he lived with no electricity, none of that, by the volcano on the island, whereas Cassandra was always on her phone and always about fashion and everything, and they were complete opposites. But they ended up liking each other and sort of found an even ground in between the two things. Cassandra introduced him to a few more luxuries, and he introduced her to a way of living with less, and they got this little house together. I didn't build this house, I honestly don't remember. I don't think I built this house, but I decorated it a way that I felt worked for them. So they lived here, they got married, they had a quiet little beach wedding. Cassandra started work as a lifeguard, and they had a little daughter called Annabelle, who again I will show you later. So then the youngest of Mila's and Darren's children was Joseph Humphreys, and he was a child at the start of the game, and he was a whiz kid. He was super into science. He built his own rocket ship when he was a teen with his friend and went up into space and ended up getting a really good job in a science career really young. And through that, he ended up getting abducted and falling pregnant. Which I didn't plan to happen, but it worked out very well actually for the story. And so he was a little freaked out about this. And at the time he had just started dating Sophia over here. And so he was really freaked out, he didn't know what to do. But he was thinking about it in a very scientific way, and he told Sophia, and she was actually very chill about it, and helped him calm down, helped him get through it. And when his daughter Brianna was born, Sophia basically raised her. She was sort of a stay-at-home mum. She was a really good mum. She's working in a political career now. It's something she's gone into since. But she was basically Brianna's mum. And Joseph, on the other hand, was not a very good father. He was very distant from Brianna. And because of how unusual the situation was, he basically saw Brianna as a bit of an experiment, and studied her rather than treating her like a daughter for at least the first few years of her life, which is quite sad. But eventually he did end up loving Brianna and accepting her as a daughter, and so he quit the science career in order to protect her, because obviously she's half alien. He didn't want anyone finding out his research and finding out about what he used to have is a secret lab under the house, and finding out about Brianna. So he quit his job, he left the science career, and he just went into teaching science instead. And he was quite happy doing that for his family. But he still have this very nice house. This is what was Brianna's bedroom over here. And I will go and show you Brianna now, and we'll move on to the next generation of the family. So this is Brianna. Oh, she's running away from us. This is Brianna. She's half alien and is the daughter of Joseph. And considering she's a half alien, she had a very normal childhood thanks to Sophia, who made sure she did. But she was very pretty, and so she ended up sort of accidentally going into modelling, and became a fashion model. And she had a nice group of friends, and life was great. She was a teenager, and she ended up falling in love with one of her friends, who was Orange Bailey Moon from the Get Famous pack, and he ended up getting her pregnant, and so that ended her modelling career basically. No one wanted to shoot her, no one wanted her to work for them, and so she had this baby, but she lost her job, she lost her career, she lost her boyfriend. Orange ran away and left, and she had her baby, Carrie Martin. And Carrie is still part alien, and she has a different name because when she was born, Brianna put her up for adoption, and Brianna had nothing to do with it. She didn't want to know where she was going, she didn't want to know anything about it. She just wanted her gone. So she put her up for adoption, and Brianna went to university. She studied art, and she became a stylist. And this is what she's doing now. She's just left uni, and she's doing pretty good in the stylist career. She's already a level 8 stylist. And Carrie is not, she hasn't forgotten about her, but she's kind of just put it as something that happened in the past, and she doesn't think about her. But little does she know that she was found out, and the quote-unquote government in the game found out that Brianna was an alien, found out that Carrie was getting put up for adoption, and they have taken her to a facility of, let's say, unique children, and she's being held there and experimented and studied in a far less pleasant way than Brianna ever was. Joseph was never harmful to Brianna, but Carrie unfortunately is not in a good place right now, but Brianna doesn't know this. Nobody knows this, and they're not gonna know for a while. They will know eventually. But Brianna's living here in Newcrest. Well, she's got a studio here in Newcrest with her cousin Hunter, who is Carly's eldest son, and he is a photographer, and he didn't go to university. He just sort of left school and decided to get into freelance photography. That's what he wanted to do, and so that's why he's here now. He's younger than Brianna. He managed to get this studio to sell some of his work, and Brianna just sort of paired up with him to help him model. It was a chance to get her back into modeling and for him to practice his photography and kind of just get both their names out there again. And obviously Brianna can style the outfits too, and she does a few little paintings which she sells as well. And then they have a little flat up here where they stay while they're working. But eventually they will have other houses, and they'll probably live separately but still work together, is what I'm thinking eventually. And this is a build I'm doing now, spoiler, you'll probably get this soon, which is going to be their actual studio. This is just one I've downloaded at the moment. This I'm going to make into a big photography studio. And while we're talking about Hunter, we can also talk about Autumn, who is his younger sister and the second child of Carly. And Autumn, like Hunter, was raised very artistically. She's very good at art and painting, but she decided she wanted to take a more tech-related route and become a computer scientist or computer engineer. So when she was younger, she used to do a lot of programming, a lot of tech, done some kind of sketchy things programming as well. And she went to university, she got her degree, and now she has moved to Evergreen Harbour because she wanted to move out. She wanted somewhere cheap, so she found this old container site in Evergreen Harbour, which was a lot messier a few days ago. And she's just sort of clearing it up. She's out working, making a name for herself, and she's also going to be doing the eco-living side of things and trying to clear up this area and everything as well, which is why she's moved here. But she moved here with her friend from university and her crush, who I think is her boyfriend now. I don't know, maybe not. But they sort of had an on-off thing in university. They were sort of seeing each other but sort of not, and it was confusing. This is Cade, and Cade is studying, let me remind myself, I think it was physics. Yeah, we got him to study, which he's a little bit behind Autumn. He's still studying his, mainly just because he was in a different household, so it didn't register. But usually I would have said they would work at the same time. But what Autumn doesn't know is he's a spellcaster, and his goal in life isn't to do physics, isn't any of this. He's just sort of using that as a front, and he actually just wants to be a really good spellcaster, and that's what he's working towards. So Autumn doesn't know this yet, but when she will find out eventually, when they're living together and dating, and he's off doing all his magic and everything. So I don't know if she'll get pulled into that a little bit as well and maybe become a spellcaster, and that might be kind of cute. Maybe she won't like it and she'll leave him and think he's a freak. I don't know, we'll see. Leave your suggestions below. And then finally, the last household is Annabelle Humphreys, and she is the daughter of Cassandra and Keon, and so she's the youngest of the cousins. And basically she grew up on the island in Solani, living this more simple life that her dad has introduced them to, and it was nice, she was happy, but she grew up with all these stories of her mum being famous and her mum's career and everything, and always she just wanted to know what that life was like. And even though Cassandra told her that it's not all good, it ended very badly for Cassandra. Annabelle's always been like, I won't make those same mistakes my mom did. I've learned from her mistakes. I want to do it and I'm gonna be good at it. And so she ended up moving out with no money at all to Del Sol Valley, and she is working to become an actress, and we're doing it as a rags to riches, which she does have almost £1,000 already, so she's not doing bad, but she doesn't actually have a house yet. She's just been working on this job here, and yeah, she's doing okay, but I haven't played with her much, I'm not going to lie. So that's where she is, and that's pretty much everyone. So I thought at the end of the video quickly I will just show you where Carrie is. So this is Carrie down here. As you can see, she's very much an alien. She's a little bit of a wild child, and she lives here in this house with all these other children who all have something unique about them. And then their mother or carer, Krista. So some of these are vampires, some of them are aliens, some of them are spellcasters, that sort of thing. And they live here in Strangerville, in this little boarding house kind of thing is what it's set up as. And you know, it's very cute, it's very nice. It's kind of nice on the inside. They've got a nice big bathroom, they've got a bedroom, they've all got their own space. This is sort of the living area, and the school area's over here. But then if you go downstairs from the school area is where it gets a little bit sinister. And there's this darker room down here, and the operating area. And yeah, it's not a nice place. On the outside it is, if you just stay up here. And so they live here, they're educated here, and they are studied here by the carer mostly, and others. So yeah, that is my current save file, and the reason I just wanted to show you guys, not only because you asked to see it, but also because maybe we will start at some point introducing more gameplay onto the channel if that's something you're interested in. So I thought it would be nice to show you my style of gameplay and how I actually play my games in The Sims 4. You've all seen how I build now. So yeah, now you know how I play. Let me know what you think, if you want to see more gameplay or not. But I will be doing a build video for next week. This video will probably be up a little later than usual because it has taken me about an hour to record it, and I still need to edit it, and I have no idea how long that'll take. So this might be up a day later than usual, but usual uploads are 6 PM on a Friday. Again, I'm really sorry that I haven't uploaded much for the last couple of months, but hopefully we'll get back into it soon. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I will speak to you in the next video. Bye guys.